So we're reading from the first chapter, text number 10. I'll read the English. This is Duryodhana. He's speaking to Dronacharya. And he says, it's 9. He says, "There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science."
Who's saying that?
This is Duryodhana.
Saying to Krishna?
Saying to Dronacharya. So this first part of the first chapter, Duryodhana is speaking to Dronacharya, his teacher. So he's telling his teacher, "My dear teacher, see all these," and he lists the first before. He says is Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashvatthama, Vikarna. He gives a whole list of people who have come, and he says, "See all these people," and he comes to today's verse. "They're prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science." This is a very good to go into deep into this particular verse. Two things came to my mind about this verse. First of all, Duryodhana, he's bragging. I've got all these people, very powerful people, strong in the military science. They're here, willing to die for me. So he's boasting. What I get from this particular verse is two things. It's a leadership verse. Duryodhana, he has a goal, and he has found the best of the best of the best to help him achieve his goal. That is something we have to keep in mind, to have a specific goal and recruit the best, surround ourselves with the best so that we can achieve that goal. That is the one part of it. But the other part of it is Duryodhana's arrogance. He says they're here to die for my sake. He has no interest in their well-being. He has no interest in what's going to affect them. He is completely self-centered. There is a verse given in one of the Puranas by sage Rishabhadev. Wow, it's intense. By Rishabhadev. And Rishabhadev says, "Guru nasasyat, swajano nasasyat, pita nasasyat, janani nasasyat," so on and so forth. He says, do not become a guru, do not become a teacher, do not become a parent, do not become a husband, wife, do not become an authority if you cannot deliver your dependents from mrityu, from death. Duryodhana is taking up this position of authority. He's trying to get people to come on his side. He's not going to save them from death. He's actually going to be the cause of their destruction. What does it mean? When we're in a position of authority, what does it mean to save a person from death? What is Rishabhadev talking about when he says to save a person from death? Not that we try to get people to work for ourselves, for my sake, but we should be interested in their well-being. Duryodhana was only interested in his well-being. Truthfully, we should be interested in other people's well-being. Now, it gets kind of tiring. Maha Visnu, why do I have to spend my time worried about everybody else? I should just take care of myself, right? Because being interested in other people's well-being means being their physical well-being, their emotional well-being, and their spiritual well-being. The entire person, what's in their best interest. Now that can be very, very exhausting to work for everybody else's. In that lecture we had with Mataji, and one of the questions was, we can be abused by people who manipulate us, take advantage of us. This is not, being taken advantage of is not serving others or being interested in their well-being. To be interested in others' well-being does not mean, in order to be interested in other people's well-being, in order to serve other people, we talked about this before, there is slavery and then there is service. To serve means being interested in their well-being, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. What's in their best interest? That's service. Slavery is when you're doing something because you have to, you're being paid to, whatever that may be. To serve, Duryodhana is not interested in service. He wants to take. Look at all these people who are here for me. He's trying to take. The mood of service, in order to serve, to be interested in another person's well-being, it requires bhakti. We cannot be interested, we cannot work towards another person's well-being if we do not come from a place of bhakti. We cannot. Because the difference between the definition of love of service is to love. We cannot serve without love. It's employment, it's slavery, it's a transaction, it can be many things, but it is not service. So when we talk about service, to serve, the necessary ingredient is love. Now the question is, if we are acting or serving with love, there can never be exhaustion. Because love means serving the well-being of everybody involved, including myself. If I am serving up to a particular, my capacity, I know what my capacity is, I'm serving to my capacity. There is no level, because it's in also my well-being. If I'm tired, I physically cannot do something. If I'm trying to struggle, it is outside of my well-being. When there is love, everyone is benefited. When there is bhakti, everyone is benefited. If I am slaving and someone's saying, oh, this is bhakti, by working hard and my health is going down, my emotional state is being disturbed, this is not in any way helpful in bhakti. Bhakti means love. Everyone in the situation is, as far as we cannot make it, being benefited. That is what makes Bhakti Yoga what it is. That's what makes Bhakti Yoga unique. So when we're serving from a place of love, it is impossible for there to be manipulation and abuse. An example. Yes. There is a person who loves cats. And I use this example in Turkey because in Turkey, for some reason, Istanbul is overrun with cats. Like in India, there's dogs everywhere. I don't know about now, but there were dogs everywhere.
There are dogs still.
Still, okay. In Istanbul, there are cats.
Like stray.
Stray cats everywhere.
Okay.
So this was a nice example that worked really well in Istanbul. So some people, they love the cats and they feed them, so they come outside their home and they put a bowl and all the neighborhood cats come. So this is some sentimentality. Oh, I like cats. Now, this same person lives in Istanbul, loves cats. We take that person to, there's a place near Bengal, Bihar called Sundarban. And there they are actually where they have tigers. Tigers. Yeah, not so much now, tigers are much endangered species. But back in the day, in the British Raj, they would hunt tigers in that area of Bihar, Bengal. So we take this person from Istanbul who loves cats, we take him to Bengal, and this person wants to feed the cats. So this person goes and gets milk, goes into Sundarban, the jungle, because they want to feed the tigers milk, and they want to pet the cute little tiger. Oh, kitty, kitty, kitty. This is sentimentality, right? This is not based in knowledge. Even though it's coming from a place of sentimentality, of warmth, and we think, oh, it's love, but when the tiger bites our head off, we wonder what happened. This is not bhakti. Bhakti is the understanding that, no, the way I serve a tiger is by making sure the habitat is kept peaceful. That's how you serve a tiger, for their physical well-being, their emotional well-being, and their spiritual well-being, for using the example. So the person who is on the situation who's practicing bhakti, they do so with their eyes open. There is an awareness of the other person. Duryodhana has no concern with Kripa, Karna, all the list of people who are on his side. He has no concern for them. Because there's no bhakti, there is no love. Where there is love, there is concern. There is awareness, there is an understanding, there's knowledge. So when we see this person is a tiger, the best service I can do for this person is to stay away. We have this idea of sentimentality, and it's driven from Arisha Dwarga. These are these 7 enemies of lust, anger, greed, all these things, this lust, this desire for prestige. I want to be known as a compassionate person. And it gets in the way of our bhakti, gets in the way of our clearly seeing reality. You had something?
Just adding, when there is pure love or bhakti, then you get rid of kam, krodh, lobh, moh, ahankar, right? Because those things won't come.
Cannot exist.
For
Yes.
example, mother's love is just so pure for the child that those things don't come when the child is small. But how do you develop that? I always wonder, how do you develop that much compassion and love so the other things go away?
Okay. Forgive me for saying, mother's love is not always devoid of the Adishadvargas.
No, I understand.
I mean, and it's
saying that I realized it.
yeah, but yeah, and that's very important. Many different types of love. It's the closest.
Closest.
It gets very, very close to unconditional bhakti. It gets very close, but it's not quite there. But your question is how to develop. You cannot.
Mother's is natural developed, right? But for everybody, how do you have that compassion?
Yes, that's the key. And the thing about mother's love, or as a parent, is that I had Gurukul class today, and some of these kids are, hey, Bhagwan.
I know. I have seen those girls also, those tall girls. They do not sit still even for 5 minutes. I was sitting there. They were both sitting there. I don't know.
Bouncing.
Right? Not only that, they were like constantly disturbing. Then we had to get up and go to the other side because I couldn't focus what Mataji was saying.
Yes. So I was sitting here with Gurukul with the kids, and right in that situation, I recognized that my children, I would have, if they weren't here, I would have an attachment to my child. But that compassion and love for my child does not extend to the rest of the class.
That's so true.
So it's limited. Bhakti is unlimited. Now the thing is we have the seed of bhakti within us. The problem is the seed of bhakti is covered with all these different things. So the question is not, pardon me, how do we manifest or show bhakti? Don't worry about bhakti. Bhakti is already there. Don't try to be loving. Be aware of when we are not. Just the awareness of not being in a loving mentality will awaken love, will manifest love. The problem is the lack of awareness, yes.
Same thing with the kids. If they're my kids, probably I won't get that annoyed, right? I try so hard not to get annoyed and stay calm, just like their moms are, having fun. But when I can't pay attention to the person who's speaking, my mind goes crazy. I don't know why. But then I always feel because I don't have love for them, probably that much, as their mothers are. Mothers are fine.
Yes.
They are making all kinds of noise and running around, and they're fine with it.
No. Now let's take this tiger example further, because you think that not saying something is love. Maybe saying something is love. See, for example, let's take this tiger. A tiger gets the taste of human flesh. There was a book I read, it was by Jim Corbett, I believe, and it was about the British Raj in India. They said, you know Jim Corbett. Tigers got a taste for human flesh. True stories in that book. And when a tiger gets the taste of human flesh, they continue to hunt humans. Otherwise, tigers are solitary animals. They want to have nothing to do with people. They want to be in their jungle, leave me alone, But once they have a taste of human flesh, what often happens is when they hunt a tiger and they don't kill it, and the tiger attacks and bites a human, and they get a taste for human flesh. When a tiger gets a taste for human flesh, you must kill it, because it will begin to hunt humans. So now the question is, a tiger that has a taste for human flesh, it must be killed, otherwise it's going to wreak havoc in the area. So what is love? To kill the tiger or to not? See, the thing is, it's not the what. It is a play of understanding what is. A lot of times we tend to think what is love is what is nice, what is acceptable, that is not necessarily the case.